Every watch on this list is a lie, not in the movement, but in the price tag. The brand at number 1 spends more on Instagram than on the watch itself. Over the next 10 entries, we are cracking open the real build cost, naming the exact movement ticking inside, and giving you a smarter alternative for every single one. This is not about hating affordable watches. It is about exposing the markup math and advertising games that most buyers never see. Starting at number 10, with a brand you have walked past in every mall in America. In the 10th place, Fossil lands right where mall watch math begins. You know the brand, every department store, every airport kiosk, a wall of shiny cases promising timeless style. But let's talk numbers, not nostalgia. Inside most Fossil quartz models ticks a Miyota 825 movement, a reliable Japanese workhorse that costs about $25 wholesale. Add up the bill of materials, case, crystal, strap, assembly, and you are looking at a total build cost of $55 to $60. Yet the manufacturer suggested retail price is $149, and real-world street prices hover around $129. That is a 2.4 times markup from build to retail, and it is not going into engineering. Fossil's own SEC filings show they spend nearly 5 times as much on marketing and distribution as they do on research and development. The supply chain points to Suzhou assembly lines, confirmed by import records and customs manifests. Resale data from Chrono24 says you will get back just 57% after 2 years. Fair credit, Fossil gives you a dependable movement and easy warranty service, but you are mostly paying for the logo and the mall shelf. If you want actual horological value, the Seiko 5 Sports Automatic costs a little more upfront, but keeps 80% of its value and delivers a real mechanical movement. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop a comment, which watch would you never buy? If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have got more receipts. Number 9 is Armani Exchange, where runway style comes with a royalty surcharge baked right into the tag. This is not a watch company. It is a licensing machine. The logo is pure Armani, but the guts are all business. Inside, you will usually find a Miyota 9015 quartz, a reliable Japanese movement that wholesales for about $90. But here is the kicker. The total build cost, including case, crystal, strap, and assembly, lands around $49 per unit. Customs data from Zauba pegs the import price at $70.50, which already includes the licensing cut for the Armani name. Yet the manufacturer's suggested retail price sits at $175, with street prices averaging $135. Do the math. That is a 3.6 times markup from build to retail, most of it padding the royalty checks and ad campaigns, not research and development. Armani Group's own filings show more than $15 in marketing for every dollar spent on engineering. The factories are in Suzhou and Dongguan, confirmed by Volza's manufacturer lists. No Milanese atelier in sight. Resale is weak. 2 years in, you are lucky to get $60 back, just 40% of what you paid. Here is the fair credit. You get slick, fashion-forward design and the cachet of a luxury brand. But if you want real value, check out the Citizen Eco Drive BM7 16003L. Solar, automatic, 5-year warranty, and it keeps 75% of its value. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop a comment. Which watch would you never buy? If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have more receipts. 8th place goes to Diesel, the brand turning oversized cases and billboard styling into a pricing illusion. Diesel's signature look screams bold, but inside most models ticks a Seiko NH35 automatic movement, an industry workhorse that wholesales for about $45. Stack up the bill of materials: movement, chunky case, mineral glass, basic strap, and the total build cost lands at $64. Now look at the price tag. The manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP, sits at $199 and street price averages $165. That is a 3.1 times markup, and it is not because of rare engineering. Diesel's data mine, HS9102 import records confirm the watches are assembled in Dongguan, China, not in Italy and not in Switzerland. Here is where it gets sticky. Some Diesel listings have played fast and loose with Swiss-made movement labeling, leading to a wave of consumer complaints archived online. The fine print always reveals the truth. Japanese guts, not Swiss. Resale is weak. 2 years in, you will get back about 40% of what you paid. To be fair, Diesel watches serve up attitude and easy warranty support. But if you want value, the Timex Weekender costs half as much, keeps 70% of its value, and does not pretend to be anything it is not. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop it in the comments. Which watch would you never buy? If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I've got more receipts. Number 7 is Michael Kors, where the promise of high-gloss luxury is mostly skin deep. The identity is pure aspirational, rose gold shine, sharp branding, and a price tag that makes you feel like you are buying into something more than just a watch. But let us talk about what is actually on your wrist. Under the hood, you are getting a Miyota 6T 28 quartz movement, a solid and reliable Japanese engine that wholesales for around $22. Add up the bill of materials, case, crystal, strap, the works, and the total build cost lands at about $90. Capri Holdings' own cost breakdowns back that up. Now, here is where the illusion starts to crack. The so-called premium finish is a sub 0.5 micron PVD coating. Independent abrasion tests have clocked that plating at less than half a micron thick, meaning the gold tone sheen can wear through in just a few months of daily wear. There is no ISO certified lab report on file, and the brand's own site dodges any hard numbers, but teardown videos and micrometer readings tell the story. The manufacturer suggested retail price is $225, and even after the inevitable department store sale, you are still paying $190. That is a 2.5 times markup over build cost, most of it going straight to marketing and influencer campaigns, not engineering. Chrono 24 resale data shows you will get back just 53% after 2 years, a $120 loss on a $225 watch. To be fair, Michael Kors delivers on fashion and global warranty support. But if you want real value, the Orient Bambino version 4 gives you a mechanical movement, better finishing, and 80% value retention for less money. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop in the comments. Which watch would you never buy? If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have more receipts. Number 6 is Tommy Hilfiger, where the watch on your wrist is really just an accessory for the polo shirt in your closet. The brand is pure Americana, but the guts are straight out of a commodity parts bin. Crack open a typical Tommy Hilfiger quartz, and you will find a Miyota JS20 ticking inside, a reliable Japanese movement that wholesales for about $22. Add up the rest, stamped case, mineral crystal, basic strap, and the full bill of materials lands at $62. That is not guesswork. PVH's own accessory cost of goods sold and shipment volumes back it up. Retail. The tag says $149, but most people pay $130 after the usual department store sale. That is a 2.4 times markup from build to street price. Not the worst in the game, but every extra dollar is pure brand premium, not better engineering. Now here is where the math gets wild. PVH spends over 20 times more on marketing Tommy watches than on actual R&D. Most of what you pay goes to keep the logo in your face, not to upgrade what is on your wrist. SGS lab tests confirm 30 meters of water resistance, so do not take it swimming. And when it is time to sell, Chrono 24 data shows you will get back just 47% of what you paid after 2 years. To be fair, Tommy Hilfiger nails the matching brand aesthetic and offers easy warranty support. But if you want real value, the Citizen EcoDrive BM717-03E gives you solar power, 100 meters of water resistance, and keeps 75% of its value for about the same money. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop in the comments which watch would you never buy? If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have got more receipts. Number 5 is MVMT, the Instagram era poster child for spending more on your feed than your wrist. This is the brand Movado scooped up for its direct-to-consumer magic. But peel back the influencer glow and you find a business model that funnels nearly 70% of its operating budget straight into marketing. That is not a guess. It is right there in the leaked investor deck, line item for line item, the actual watch. Under the hood, you are looking at a Miyota GM10 quartz movement, which wholesales for about $22. The total bill of materials, movement, case, glass, strap, all in, lands at $61 per watch. The OEM manifest and Volta's export logs confirm the same factories shipping MVMT's cases also supply Daniel Wellington, right down to the case mold number. Retail price: $149 manufacturer suggested retail price, but the real-world street price is $129. And MVMT's direct-to-consumer model means the discount is all psychological, no middleman, just a high sticker and a fake-out sale. Here is where the markup math gets wild. For every dollar spent on the actual watch, more than 50 cents go to influencer campaigns, Instagram ads, and customer acquisition. Pathmatics ad data and Movado's own filings back that up. Resale. Chrono 24's numbers show you will get back about 53% after 2 years, better than some mall brands, but still a coin toss. To be fair, MVMT nails minimalist style and delivers fast global shipping, but if you want real horological value, the Seiko 5 Sports Automatic costs a bit more, keeps 80% of its value, and puts a mechanical movement on your wrist. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop a comment and tell me which watch you would never buy. If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have more receipts. Number 4 is Tag Heuer Connected, where Swiss heritage gets glued to a slab of commodity silicon, and the price tag spins out of orbit. Here is the pitch. You are buying a luxury smartwatch, stamped with a storied logo, but at its heart, you are getting a Snapdragon Wear 4100 board, a chip that costs just $28 in bulk. Add up the real bill of materials, screen, case, strap, sensors, and the total build cost lands at about $43.50. That is not a typo. Zalba import records peg the average shipment price at $609, which already bakes in distributor margin. Now brace yourself. The manufacturer's suggested retail price sits at $1,995, and even with street discounts, you are still paying around $1,750. That is a markup north of 5 times from build to retail, with most of that premium buying you branding, not engineering. LVMH's own filings show that for every dollar spent on research and development for the connected, 9 go to marketing and sponsorships. Think Formula One billboards, not firmware updates. Resale. After 18 months, Chrono 24 data shows value retention drops to about 40 to 50%, with most listings hovering near $1,000. And about that battery life. Independent SGS lab tests found the claimed 18-hour endurance was optimistic by 20%, And while the FTC did issue a 2024 warning to the smartwatch industry about battery claims, Tag Heuer itself has never faced a formal enforcement action. To be fair, you do get premium finishing, sapphire glass, and access to LVMH's global service network. But if you want real value, the Garmin Venue 2 delivers better battery life, more health features, and keeps 70% of its value for a quarter of the price. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop it in the comments. Which watch would you never buy? If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have got more receipts. Coming to the top 3, Hublot Big Bang is where luxury markup turns into pure theater. The story starts with a titanium case that costs just about $61 to make. $61 for the hardware that headlines a $9,950 manufacturer's suggested retail price. The movement inside? Most Big Bangs run an ETA 2824 Swiss movement, a proven automatic that wholesales for roughly $200. Stack up the full bill of materials: movement, case, sapphire crystal, strap, assembly, and you are looking at $733 out the door, confirmed by Richemont's segment cost of goods sold and supplier manifests. Now brace yourself. Retail is $9,950, and even after the boutique VIP discount, most buyers pay $8,700. That is a 13.6 times markup from build to sticker, and it is not going into horological innovation. Richemont's own filings show Hublot spends over 10 times more on sponsorships, think Formula One, FIFA, every red carpet in sight, than on actual movement research and development. The limited edition game is not just for hype either. A 2021 settlement forced Hublot to pay out for misleading scarcity claims on some Big Bang runs. When it comes time to sell, Chrono24 data shows first-year resale drops 35 to 45%, with most listings holding at 55 to 65% of the manufacturer's suggested retail price, better than mall watches, but still a $3,000 to $4,000 haircut. Here is the fair credit. You do get avant-garde materials, flawless finishing, and Richemont's global service. But if you want real tech for your money, the Citizen EcoDrive Satellite Wave delivers GPS sync, premium build, and 80% value retention for about a fifth of the price. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop in the comments which watch would you never buy. If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have got more receipts. In second place, Invicta Pro Diver is the master of the Perpetual sale playbook. Here is the trick. The manufacturer's suggested retail price is plastered everywhere at $199, but the real street price is always $150, and it is never not on sale. Check the Wayback Machine. Every archive snapshot of their site since 2016 shows the same crossed-out price and the same limited time banners. But what are you actually getting for that sticker? Crack open a Pro Diver, and you will find a Seiko NH35 automatic movement, one of the most reliable workhorses in the game, but it wholesales for about $45. Stack up the bill of materials, movement, case, crystal, strap, assembly, and the total build cost lands at just $52. Datamine import records and supplier manifests confirm it. So you are paying a markup of 3.3 times from build to retail, and the discount is pure theater. The FTC even slapped Invicta with a warning in 2022 for the old Swiss-made shuffle. Some models were labeled Swiss, but only the movement qualified, not the watch itself. Invicta quietly updated the fine print. But the pricing circus rolls on. Resale value is poor. Chrono24 data says you will get back just 48% after 2 years, less than half your money. To be fair, you do get 200 meters of water resistance and a robust diver. Look at a budget price. But if you want real value, The Seiko Prospex SRP 777 Turtle gives you true mechanical heritage, 85% value retention, and a modest markup. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop your answer in the comments. Which watch would you never buy? If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have more receipts. And finally, in first place, Daniel Wellington is the purest example of the Instagram tax in the watch world. The brand identity is all about minimalist, Scandinavian style, clean dials, and NATO straps. But the real story is what is happening behind the scenes. Inside every Daniel Wellington classic ticks a Miyota 8220 quartz movement that wholesales for $13.50. Volta factory pages confirm the same Chinese OEMs supply both Daniel Wellington and several other fashion labels, and the total bill of materials, movement, case, crystal, strap, assembly lands at just $26.75 per watch. That is not a typo. Yet the manufacturer's suggested retail price sits at $225, with street prices rarely dipping below $190. That is an 8 times markup from build cost to retail, and none of it is going into engineering. Where does the money go? Straight into influencer campaigns. Euromonitor shipment data puts Daniel Wellington global shipments at around 4 million units per year, but the real flex is in marketing. Over $10 million annually is funneled into Instagram sponsorships and paid posts, with Meta Ad Library and Pathmatics both flagging Daniel Wellington as a top spender in the category. For every dollar spent on the watch itself, more than 30 go to keeping the brand in your feed. And resale? Chrono24 data says you will get back just 42% of what you paid after 2 years, barely $95 on a $225 watch. Here is the fair credit. You do get a sleek, versatile design and a huge range of colorways, and warranty support is easy to access. But if you want real horological value, the Citizen EcoDrive BM7100 11E gives you a solar-powered movement, a stainless steel case, and keeps 70% of its value after 2 years, all for about the same retail price. The lesson here is brutal but honest. Price does not equal engineering. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop in the comments which watch would you never buy? If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have got more receipts. Across all 10 brands, one hard truth is clear. Most of what you pay is for hype, not horology. The real scam isn't the movement. It is the markup, licensing, and psychological pricing games that turn a $30 build into a $300 illusion. Smart buyers see past the logo and ask, what is actually ticking on my wrist? Drop a comment. Which watch would you never buy? If you have ever been burned by a brand on this list, hit subscribe. I have more receipts.